Anyway, we're recording. Let's get started. I'm going to push the button again and we'll get going. Welcome to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast. We are here to podcast about anything and everything Star Wars with you. Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR KyleJohansson.us. That's RABR.KyleJohansson.us. On the left-hand side is a navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on your Android or Apple phone and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at RABR.KyleJohansson.us. And now, it's time to talk Star Wars. I am Kyle John Johansson, and this is Andrew Scott Sutton. Say hello. Hello. Andrew's not here today. He's pulling another double shift kind of thing because he's got someone, I think, either quit or sick or something at work. But we have Rick today. We didn't have him last week, but we got Rick today. So say hi to everybody, Rick, and
hello.
Get started. All right, today we're reviewing the Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 5, called Entombed. And then we're gonna kind of discuss a little bit. We don't have any news today, so we're not gonna go through that. I did want to kind of point something out. We could briefly talk about it. I don't really have an article for it, but it's something that I wanted you guys to notice as well. And then, like I said, discuss it. We'll have a question of the week. We'll go over that, which I think we're going to come up with on the fly because I haven't come up with it yet. Our thoughts and predictions of what's going on in the future. So, beginning with that, I'm going to push the spoiler thing so we can make sure nobody gets spoiled. Spoiler alert. Danger. You're about to be spoiled. This is... All right, that's enough of that. So anything that you hear from going forward is going to spoil the episode, so go watch it and come back, and then you can enjoy it with us. All right, so the thing I was going to talk to you about, and I wish I had some like screenshots that I could show you too, but I don't. But I don't know if you noticed this season there are the armor that our team's wearing is a little bit different color than it was last season. Don't know if you've been paying attention enough to see that or not, Rick, at all.
I actually noticed it the first episode, but just kind of figured it was a change of, like reference they're stepping away.
It is in a way, but also their armor is a little bit darker too. Like it's a little more darker gray than it was before.
Yep.
And then like there's orange on their shoulders in different spots, right?
Yep.
Previous season, maybe on their shoulders they had red, and then there was like red stripes and stuff. And I think it's kind of what you're saying is they're distancing themselves from the Empire because I bring this up really because that episode we had with Cody in it, where they were at the the memorial wall and stuff, whatever, he had that mission. Yeah. Solitary Clone was the episode. Anyway, Cody he had all white and his shoulders were gray. Sort of. Sometimes they were all white, sometimes they were gray in the episode. And Cody, in the Clone Wars, the movies, all that stuff. His was a goldish yellow color on his shoulders and on his helmet and stuff like that, and it designated his rank. So he was Captain Cody, and then there was a couple of other people. Captain Rex, he was kind of bluish color, right? And that kind of designated their also the colors designated their troop, what troop they belonged to. Regiment, troop, whichever it was, and
It's kind of like an MOS specialty in the military.
Right. The captains and stuff always had a little bit either more color or it was just a slightly different color than the rest of the team did. And like I said, you can see in ours. There's another reason too, and I read about this the other day. The people thought that our team looked too close to their uniforms looked too close to regular troopers, clone troopers, and because they're the Bad Batch and they're supposed to be different and stuff, they thought they needed to change the color a little bit so it was more grayish color and stuff.
Well, they're not getting to go to the clone wash either as often, so they're dirty. Yeah. That's fun. Yeah, I like it. I love it.
The
RT units aren't able to scrub them as clean as if they were still, with the Empire and being maintained. The dry cleaner is a little more expensive now.
Sid doesn't have a good facilities for that.
Yeah. Her diversity, her portfolio diversity is being limited now.
Right. All right. So let me just push this to signify we're done talking about that, because unless you have anything else, that's all I had to say about it. It was just kind of pointing it out.
I'd seen some stuff too, and people were talking about it. I just kind of figured it was a little subtle, the writer's subtle way of saying that we're stepping away from the Empire and we're our own little unit, and this is kind of showing we're stepping away and branching out. Plus, they're like, I kind of jokingly said that, but they're not with the Empire anymore, so they're not getting all the perks of a large army. They're they're on their own. They're not taking time to clean their uniforms and look presentable like they would have had to have. No one's under, they're not under control of anyone.
Right, and they probably, let's say they had the ability to, if they damaged their uniform, they could replicate a new one. Oops, I pushed the button early. They could replicate a new replacement, right?
Yeah.
Now that they're on their own, they have limited abilities to do that. Yeah. They can probably do it somewhere, but not as easily as they could before.
Well, they'd have to shoot a gun trooper and then requisition the uniform.
Right, maybe. All right, so I did the end of the news thing, so let's go back in here. So the Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 5, Entombed, aired on January 25th and was 29 minutes long, which is one of our longer episodes so far this season. In the cast, we had, of course, D. Bradley Baker was all the clones. Michelle Yang is the Omega. We, of course, this episode had Phee Genoa, which is Wanda Sykes. And those guys in the bar, Bolo is Liam O'Brien and Ketch is Sam Riegel. Those are those two guys that are always in the bar drunk and stuff. And all right, let's do an advertisement. Too many buttons today. Are you planning your next trip to Tatooine? Well, come on down to Pelly's Mod and Repair Shop, where our droids will spruce up your wagon. We'll service just about anything from Starfighter Corellian Y1300 freighter to a Vespa hovering scooter. If we don't have the part, we can get it. If you qualify for our special program, we'll provide you with any part our Jawas can get. Well, that's right. Come on down to Pelly's Mod and Repair Shop, where we can store fuel and upgrade your vessel. We're located at Tatooine's Mos Eisley Spaceport, Hangar 35. 35. Yeah, we'll get to see a bunch of her in the Mandalorian soon, I hope.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Clone wash with every visit.
Exactly. Free clone wash. Yeah. I might have to do a new commercial for clone wash now. Come on down to our clone wash.
Like spray and wash for clone uniforms.
Exactly. All right, it's time to grab your favorite beverage, pull up a chair, join us in the Rebel Alliance briefing room, because we're about to get into the episode here. So we start out with Wrecker and Omega searching a junkyard for a spare compressor. Wrecker retrieves a compressor from the wreckage of a lat gun, while Omega finds an oval and a ball-shaped object. Meanwhile, Phee Genoa is recounting fighting the Octomorph to recover the Grand Pearl of Novak in the presence of the Ithorian Bolo and the Wakeway Ketch. Echo Hunter and Tech are also there. Tech notices that Genoa keeps changing the story, and Hunter responds that Bolo and Ketch will believe just about anything. Wrecker returns with the compressor. Omega shows the relics, including a broken manifold generator that she retrieved, but Tech thinks she should have left them in the junkyard. Genoa recognizes one of the objects as a compass with coordinate markings, and she gives it to her droid Mel to shine a light on the object. When she recognizes it as the coordinates to Kaldar Trinary system, Tech remarks that system is uncharted, prompting Genoa to respond that the best treasures are always found off-grid. Yeah. So what do you think about Phee getting more time, like you were saying before? Remember, you predicted she was going to be back on.
Oh, yeah, I was kind of excited to see her. So it's kind of exciting to see that she was there and Sid was out of the picture. So
yeah, no.
And Sid's still recovering from, the racing. We'll see. That was also that was last episode, right? Episode 4?
Yep.
So,
because that might be our question of the week.
Yeah, commented that they didn't have a mission, so it seems like they have some free time on their hands.
Yep, they had free time and in between missions, basically. So they just got done with one and waiting for the next one.
Had to get some part.
Yeah, I don't. They didn't even say what the part was for, but they needed a part for something, probably their ship. I don't know. Or maybe it was just to run the video game machine. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, something for the bar.
Yeah, maybe to pump out some more draft beer.
Yeah, soda machine went bad.
Exactly. All right, so Omega is excited about the prospect of the treasure hunt, but Hunter is skeptical. And Hunter is kind of pretty much grouchy the entire episode. Genoa offers to split the treasure, fined by half if the Bad Batch goes. Wrecker is supported since they aren't on a mission. Echo reminds them that their last lost treasure hunt didn't go well, and Genoa claims that she is a professional, and it kind of tries to convince them that it'll go better. And since Omega is so excited and is got her sweet little Omega eyes on Hunter, complies. The clones and Genoa travel aboard the Marauder, and Genoa ingratiates herself with Omega, claiming that she has traveled to countless uncharted worlds with Mel, keeping track of their adventures. Hunter believes she is a pirate, but Genoa styles herself as a liberator of ancient treasures. She regales Omega with a story about discovering the blade of Zactapar while Hunter exits the lounge. Upon landing, the Bad Batch and Genoa discover that their destination is scorched and lifeless world with charred vegetation. The compass begins buzzing, and Echo leads the group, including Mel, The coordinates take them to a barren forest, reaching a dead end with a bunch of hills and rocks in front of them, right? Omega proposes going around the mountain, and Genoa believes that the compass is telling them to go inside. She uses her cutlass to cut a hole through the rocks. With Wrecker's help, they discover a secret entrance. As they enter, they're being watched by a fanged reptile creature. Dun dun dun. Fanged reptile creature. I just clicked on the link for that to see if there's any information about it, and there's nothing. A creature lived inside the Sarka Null on an unidentified planet. It possessed gray skin, red eyes, sharp teeth, claws, and a long tail. That's hardly any good information. That sucks.
Endangered species.
There you go.
In a faraway.
Exactly. Could be anything. Jeez. Inside the treasure, hunters discover etchings, which Genoa recognizes as markings to the entrance of Sakura Null. When Wrecker queries, she explains that the legend of Sakura Null predates the Jedi, and that the treasure known as the Heart of the Mountain lies inside. Omega asks how they get in, and Genoa explains that it's pattern and that they need to align the symbols in the right order. Wrecker helps move a beam which causes the circular floor pattern to descend. A large ball of rock seals the entrance, trapping them inside. So they triggered a booby trap, it sounds like. Hunter is upset because she's trapped them in, but Genoa reassures Hunter that there's always a way out. Omega realizes they may have misaligned the symbols. Using the compass, she realizes that some of the symbols are marked in purple. Genoa gets Omega to put the compass on her lamp, which enables the clones to see the symbols better. Working together, they realign and open a doorway. Genoa gets Mel to wait outside while they go on in. Genoa explains that the heart of the mountain is a rare crystalline stone, which is the key to an ancient power. Tech reports that his preliminary analysis of the minerals in the stone slabs show that they predate the Galactic Republic. He thinks that Phee has uncovered something. Before they can continue, the group are attacked by a large fanged monster which grabs Wrecker. The clones fight back and free Wrecker. However, the retreating monster dislodges several rocks which separate Echo, Tech, and Wrecker from Hunter, Omega, and Genoa. Echo tells Omega they are safe by a comm link, but they are unable to penetrate the falling rocks. And I thought this part coming up here was kind of interesting in a way, but it says here, Tech reports there are several adjacent tunnels and proposes using them to rendezvous with Genoa and the others. And I always thought, well, how come they didn't see those tunnels before, and why didn't they use them before? They got to go through the spots where all the traps and the contraptions are.
Dun dun dun.
They get to skip everything. That's just weird.
That's like they're just snake tunnels. This creature's just a snake.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Genoa's secret passage. Yeah. Genoa says they will continue looking for a treasure and reassures Hunter and Omega and the others they will be fine. Hunter leads the group through the tunnel, and Genoa and Omega spot some more markings above the tunnel and try to warn Hunter. He fails and falls into a hole, but using a grappling cable, Genoa and Omega pull him into safety. Omega thinks that they need to find a way to walk across the ceiling, and Hunter is skeptical about continuing with the treasure hunt, but Genoa is relaxed, saying the adventure reminds her of a quest track down the Belmont Diam. While the adults, let's see what the Belmont Diam is. There's a link there. Oh, there's some information. What's the Belmont Diam? The Belmont Diam is an artifact track down by pirates. On a treasure hunt. Encounter an entrance to H weapon. Oh, it doesn't say anything really what it is. Just a artifact she tracked down. and she talks about it in the episode. Great.
It's treasure.
I'm gonna stop clicking on these links. While the adults discuss the quest, Omega finds that her compass fits into the lock, which causes the circular tunnel to rotate to form a bridge. Through Omega's determination, the bridge is safe to cross. Omega is unable to retrieve the compass out of the lock. Genoa explains that the Sarkanal has reclaimed the compass. Hunter grumbles about having to navigate the tunnels without the compass, but Genoa reassures him that that's why they have her. Meanwhile, Tech finds something is interfering with his scanners. Wrecker sensors movement, but Echo thinks it's in his head. They soon reunite with Omega, Hunter, and Genoa outside a circular vault door. Genoa unlocks the door, which opens to a deep vault where the heart of the mountain lies below. Genoa walks over to the stone and structure and retrieves the diamond. However, removing the heart of the mountain triggers the structure's security mechanism, which seals the entrances. Outside, a bright beam of light explodes from the mountain, and Mel flees as a giant Suran-shaped machine emerges from the mountain. The clones in Genoa find that the treasure vault is actually a giant war machine that emits a high amount of energy. Tech proposes returning the heart of the diamond to its power place in order to deactivate the machine. Genoa is, of course, unwilling to give up her treasure, but Hunter counters that if the machine destroys their ship, they will be trapped on the planet forever. Genoa agrees, but warns that they owe her a debt for the treasure loss. The Fang monster breaks into the command center, causing the heart of the mountain to fall down a hole. Genoa heads down the hole to retrieve it, while the Bad Batch fight the monster. Genoa almost falls out of the giant machine, but Hunter pulls her to safety. The giant machine unleashes a blast of energy that scorches the surrounding landscape, and Mel tries to flee but is incinerated by the beam. Omega fires her energy bow at the monster while Wrecker pulls it towards the window. At Wrecker's instruction, Omega shoots the window open and Wrecker hurls the beast out. Tech tries to regain control of the machine before it can turn its beam on the Marauder. Hunter passes Tech and Omega the heart of the mountain. It doesn't say how he does it, but he puts it into a mechanism on the ship there, and it immediately the machine shuts down, and the stone begins to melt, triggering a self-destruct mechanism. The clones and Genoa cling to safety as the machine crashes onto the hill. Following their escape, Tech remarks that this adventure puts them 2-0 for treasure hunting, even with professional help. Omega assures them that they have found the heart of the mountain, proving the authenticity of the legend. And while heading back to the ship, Hunter remarks that at least nobody can use the weapon again. Omega apologizes for the loss of Mel, but Genoa assures her that she has stored Mel's memory on the ship's databank. She hopes to have Mel rebuilt before they head to Vadane. When Mel queries, Genoa claims that she has a lead on an ancient chalice that once belonged to the kingdom of Elways. Like Brad Elway,
John
Elway, those guys. Famous Eli. Oh, no. Hunter is skeptical about embarking on another tour but Omega is mesmerized. The clones and Genoa depart on the Marauder. And that's when our credits roll. All right. So what'd you think about that?
Well,
I didn't give you much breaks there, but
oh no, you're good. Compared to last week, this was like a 10.
it was much better.
Last week was a snoozer. This week at least kept you kind of interested. So
yeah, it was. And
was that how does Wanda Sykes' character, Phee, I guess, how does she know so much? How does she know so many of these treasures? So, especially if they're that old.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what she does all the time, maybe she, researches them. Maybe she's actually an archaeologist. I don't know.
She's a future Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
Indiana.
And there was lots of talk on Twitter about Indiana Jones finally getting into Star Wars through the Bad Batch.
Yeah, true.
There was a lot of references and stuff to Indiana Jones in there, which I'm sure you noticed tiny a little bit there. Like, wait a minute, I've heard that before or something.
Yeah.
So
episode, it was a good episode. It was just kind of interesting, that planet, like, is that how it was destroyed and who destroyed it, and the fact that she knew that it was actually predated the Jedi. So
yeah, and I just think that's part of, she's seen stuff that's predated the Jedi before. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I guess a question could be who are the people that manage the machines, or what was it before?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. I'll think of it here in a little bit, but yeah, I thought it was a pretty good episode. Really, it was. I thought in the beginning I was probably going to be let down a little bit because it was another kind of filler episode. Let's just say.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really get any building of any of the legend or anything at all during this episode. It was more just fun stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. So I'm going to push this feedback button. Whoops. Pushed it twice. Whoops. Because we don't really have any feedback. But I pushed it because I want to talk about, how much interaction we're getting on different sites and stuff a little bit. We've done it before. Like a good example. So I manage most of the podcasts through Google Podcasts. That's where I put it first, and it kind of uses that to filter out to everything else. There is a certain site that I used in the beginning to go to all the other different locations that we are at, but I've gone in and kind of individually reclaimed most of those back, so I'm not using that site anymore. But so on Google, we're averaging still about 3 to 8 plays a week, which is it's okay. It's not great, of course, but the weird part about what I see on Google is people aren't playing our most recent episodes; they're playing older episodes. So nobody's caught up. The last episode that was played is an episode we did about the Phantom Menace, and several on Tales of the Jedi, and a couple on Andor. So it's like people are catching up and they want to, what did I miss here? Let me listen to a podcast or something, kind of thing. And let's see.
Shows, and then they're catching up on what people have posted.
Exactly. a couple. So here's top searches that have brought people to our podcast website in some fashion, and one of the top ones is this Romar Adele. You remember the episode 2 or something? Maybe it was the first one where the old guy was in it. Yeah, the first 2. We've got 5 different times, which is not a lot still, but 5 different times people search for that and come to our website.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of. And I don't know. It's weird. I do these polls all the time, and nobody really answers them except for us every once in a while. But we get a lot of traffic on them. Like, the first episode, the poll for that was what's in the trunk that Phee takes after the Bad Batch brings it to Sid, and over 24 people saw that poll. 20 people saw the one after that where Captain Wilco went over the edge of the dam. That one episode.
Yeah.
So on and so on. On Spotify, we've got still got 3 followers, 11 regular listeners. 26 people have started at least one episode of ours so far, which that number hasn't really changed. And on the Indian site, Jayo Savan, I believe, we're averaging 2 to 4 plays of our podcast a week. And right now they're scattered all over that India. They're India's pretty big anyway, but they're all over the place. They're in Bangalore, Mumbai, Rapapipala, I don't know how, Ahmedabad. They're all over the place. Let's see. I want to check out the episodes themselves to see if they've listened to any other recent episodes. Here we go. No recent episodes of the Bad Batch, but we have at least one of the Tales of the Jedi. And what was the one before? Andor's got several, 3 or 4 episodes that have been listened to. We're on Apple Music, but nobody ever listens to us on Apple Music at all. And let's skip to YouTube. So YouTube, our last episode, one that we all hated, 24 people have viewed our video version of it. Maybe half of those are us because it doesn't count. It counts views and not unique views. So if you go in and look at it briefly, once a day or something, it counts that. The episode before, Solitary Clone, got 17. And yeah, so that's pretty much enough of the boring stat stuff. But I just thought it was important to bring up. Maybe people can tell others to join in as well, and we can get some real feedback going here.
Share with your friends.
Share with your friend.
Is caring.
Sharing is caring. Yeah. So on that topic, we have 3 or 4 different ways you can send us feedback. On our website, we have a link to a form you can fill out with feedback and send that to us. Questions of the week have a spot where you can put comments on there after you've answered the question. So you can also go to the YouTube video and put comments in there. And we have an email, feedback@kylesjohansson.us. You can also send feedback to. And of course, social media. There's links on the website for that too. Anything else you got about the episode?
No, I enjoyed this one better than the last one. I think things are I think maybe we're getting ready to have a little build up. I think they're setting us up. A little excitement coming. What? I don't know, but something's
I
gonna
think
break.
so too. I think so too, and you can kind of tell since they've already released all the titles of the episodes. You
Yeah.
can kind of tell a little bit from that. And I'm bringing it up right now, but I'm gonna kind of tell you what they are, and you can kind of guess that there is going to be some excitement. All right, January 25th is the one we just watched, Entombed, and then it goes. The next episode is called Tribe. February 1st, and then February 8th we get 2 episodes the same day. The Clone Conspiracy and Truth and Consequences are the 2 episodes there. Yeah, so that sounds interesting. And I remember if I mentioned before that I think that it's possible that Crosshair is going to join back up with our team.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's going to happen around that time. Because it goes on. The episode after that is The Crossing, Retrieval, Metamorphosis, and so on and so on. And the last episode of the season is called Plan 99, which is interesting since we're Clone Force 99. But I think it all comes together, and we all, we've had a whole season really not, with Crosshair not being, well, more than the whole. The first season was, half of it we were without Crosshair too.
Yeah.
On the team. I think Crosshair could be a really valuable part of the team. Even though he's all about following orders and such.
Well, so the last episode that we really saw him, that was kind of what we were left with him hanging. Like, is he questioning his loyalty to the Empire? Is he questioning his loyalty to his teammates? So then we have a very boring episode, and then we kind of have this one that kind of picks things up. So yeah, I'd say we're at least leading into something that there's going to be some interaction. What that interaction is going to be, I don't know, but my money is on he joins the team.
Yeah. Well, you also remember that Rampart wasn't very happy to hear that the rest of Clone Force 99 was still around.
Yeah.
Which basically means that Rampart doesn't trust him as much anymore. Because he already told him they were dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's something coming. I think Rampart obviously sees him as a threat, especially since he told Palpatine that they were already gone.
Yeah. Well, the trust thing, he can't trust him, can't believe him. And I think the captain, Captain Cody, right? Is that right, Captain?
Yeah.
Cody, I think was a little foreshadowing of like letting us see that even though he's not conflicted necessarily, there is a hinge or a twinge of conflict going on internally.
Yeah. I think honestly what's going to happen is Rampart decides he can't trust him anymore at all and tries to target Crosshair and take him out basically. And obviously Crosshair is very skilled and pretty much has to escape to get away.
Well,
he can fake his death or whatever.
Yeah, he can shoot. The stormtroopers can't. So there we go. We know how that.
Exactly.
Ding, 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 ding. One shot, one kill with Crosshair.
Exactly.
I think it'll how it plays out, I don't know. So
I don't either. I mean, there's rumors that there's going to be another season. And actually the rumors include 2 seasons, but I think they've said that they don't want to do more than 4 seasons of it. And they're going to basically decide each season what they're going to do. But I also wanted to bring up something too, because it's possible. See, we're in a time period, 19 years after the Battle of Yavin, which is after Return of the Jedi, I believe. that there's another force out there in play. So basically, in the absence of Palpatine, I've talked about it before. There's this Grand Admiral Thrawn that kind of takes over, and he takes over most of the stormtroopers and all of that, and does his own little thing. He doesn't, I don't know, try to rule the galaxy or whatever, I guess, but he does sort of. He enjoys the power kind of thing, but there's also a chance that Crosshair could introduce him too. Who knows?
Yeah, true.
Rumor is though that he's going to be introduced on the Ahsoka show instead of this show, but they could surprise us, I guess.
There could be some overlap. If they do this as one more season, overlap next season or at the end of the season, and who knows?
Yeah, the grand scheme that the producers and writers of all these shows have, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, is that they all the shows are building to an end that will be like a reveal of a new show.
Yeah.
And the speculation is it's all about Thrawn, or it could be about Luke Skywalker doing his retraining of the Jedi thing or something. Which, I don't know which would be better. Thrawn is probably better because there's probably more action. Training Jedi is maybe boring. I don't know, but there's all kinds of speculation about that stuff and rumors.
What's the goal for Omega? What's her purpose?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I think that we're also in the time frame when Boba Fett comes out of the ground and stuff too.
Yeah.
We're a little after that, but he's around. Boba Fett continues to let's say be the mayor of the town he's in through Jabba's palace, warlord, whatever you want to call it. He continues to be that for a while. So they could meet up and brother and sister,
Could be. Yeah.
And we don't know. We don't know if Boba Fett was actually born before Omega, even though they are twins. Maybe the eggs weren't fertilized at the same time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't know.
Not full.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough talk there, and I think I'm going to do the question of the week about where is Sid? Unless you can come up with something better.
No, I got nothing, man. I threw my question out. I should have saved one of them, but
yeah. I don't know. There wasn't a lot to gather from the episode because it was all kind of contained within itself, right?
Yeah. Where was Sid?
All right. So, like I said, the next episode is Tribe, and we'll be back around the same time doing the same thing. So, let me push this exit button here. Thank you for listening to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast.
Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR.KyleJohansson.us. That's RABR.KyleJohansson.us. On the left-hand side is a navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on your Android or Apple phone and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Patreon website at rabr.kailijohansen.us. This podcast in no way is approved, sponsored, or owned by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. All opinions are solely owned by Kyle and or Scott and in no way express the views or opinions of their past or present employers. Views and opinions are not supported or restricted by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or any or other use of this podcast and its affiliate sites without consent of Super Duper Podcast Network and its host is prohibited. I am Kyle Johansen, and this is Andrew Scott Sutton. Say goodbye now.
Bye-bye. Again, Andrew's gone, and he's probably going to be gone next week, too. So hopefully Rick can come back.
Hopefully.
Thank Rick. Hopefully. It's getting busier. Well, next week is, big playoff game, right? No, that's this week.
Next week is the Pro Bowl, but who cares about that?
Yeah,
No.
that's just playing around, isn't it?
The week after is dependent. To be determined. To be determined tomorrow.
Exactly.
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.